People can be very wicked. Like sometimes I used to wonder if they think about what they do to other people. But you know what? This video will be teaching you how to pay back, like how to revenge. Yes, because you need to. You need to, and this video will be teaching you the perfect way, like the best way to do it. So if you're interested, stay tuned and let's get right into it. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this video. Be rest assured I did it for you. So in this channel I answer questions pertaining to life by telling a story. I believe it's a great way you can relate with things and understand things easily. So you are going to be learning how to revenge, how to pay back for the wrong things people have done to you, are doing to you, and will still do to you in a perfect way by hearing the story I will be giving you today. So stay tuned and let's get into it. But before then, have you subscribed to this channel? If you've not, please hit the subscribe button right now and click the notification bell so each time I post a new video you will be the first to know about it. Okay, so now let's get the story started. Today's story is about a lady named Jacinta. Jacinta's mom was laying on the hospital bed fighting for her life, and Jacinta was sitting close beside her with her head bowed down and tears running down her eyes. As those tears were running down her eyes, the hatred she had for her father was multiplying. But then she was praying silently in her mind that her mom will wake up alive. That was the most important thing to her at the moment. While she was making this prayer silently, suddenly her mother started gasping for breath and she quickly rushed out to call the doctor. But unfortunately, before she could arrive the room, like before she could come back, she and the doctor, her mom was already dead. When the doctor confirmed that Jacinta's mom was dead, Jacinta fell on the floor, started shouting and crying, like that shock of losing somebody so dear to you. It was something else for Jacinta that day. While she was on the floor, rolling, shouting, crying, her father came in. Her father tried to console her, but then she pushed him away and shouted, "Leave me alone, leave me alone." Anyways, life have to move on, right? The mom was already dead. They took her to the mortuary and did the necessary things, while Jacinta and her father returned back home. That was like a nightmare for Jacinta. That night, her father called Jacinta, told her to kneel down and hold her 2 years. So Jacinta obeyed. Of course, she obeyed her father, held her 2 years, and her father said to her, Jacinta, 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 how many times did I call you? Jacinta responded with tears running down her eyes. The pain she was feeling, words cannot explain it. But then she responded 3 times, Daddy. Jacinta, her father called again. I'm warning you. I am warning you. Jacinta was just looking at her father. She was already shivering because she knows what her father was warning her for already. But then her father said to her, if what happened in this house ever gets to anybody here outside, I will know you are the one who said it and I will kill you. Jacinta was really scared. She just kept looking at her father and she nodded her head in response to that. So you know why Jacinta's father was warning her? Something actually led to her mother's death, and this was what happened. The night her mother was rushed to the hospital, Jacinta's father came back very late as usual. Came back around after 12, that's midnight. When he came back, he woke his wife up, Jacinta's mother, told her to go to the kitchen and get him food. She went to the kitchen. She was a very obedient woman. She went to the kitchen. She brought the food that was available. She kept the food for him actually. And she brought it. She warmed it, made it hot. and brought it to him. It was yam and red oil. That's what they had at home. She served her husband, and guess what? This man threw the food on her. Imagine yam and red oil on somebody's body. The woman started apologizing. I'm sorry, my husband, for what she did not even know what she did wrong. Like, did she do anything wrong? But then the man said to her, I don't want to eat yam and red oil. I want semovita and egusi soup. And there was nothing like that in the house that day. No semovita, no egusi. There was no even ingredient to even prepare the food. In fact, this man did not even bring money to cook. It was the woman that used the money she made from the little sales she had in the market to prepare the yam and red oil they had that night, she and her daughter, and was willing to even give it to the man without any arguments. She tried explaining to her husband that there was nothing like semovita and egusi soup available in the house at the moment. But before she could even utter two complete sentence, the man pounced on her, started beating her, started giving her different punch in different angles, different area of her body. This woman finally fell down on the floor and hit her head so hard that she started bleeding profusely. When all those things was happening, Jessita was awake. Though she was sleeping before them, but as soon as her father came back with that shouting energy, like, she woke up and was peeping from the room, seeing what was happening. But as soon as her mother fell on the floor and started bleeding, she ran out and was shouting, "Mommy, Mommy!" before they rushed her to the hospital, and that's how this woman lost her life. So you see why Jessita actually hated her father. That was not everything. Let me continue the story. When all this was happening, Jessita was just 11 years old. Just 11. And she was going through all this emotional trauma. Life really continued for both of them, but Jessita was always in pain and she cried so much. But her father kept living his own kind of life. But at some point, her father thought to himself that one day Jessita might actually tell somebody this thing. So he came up with a plan to relocate to another city where Jessita does not know anybody and nobody knows him as well. You know, a whole new city, a whole new life. The secret is kept forever. That was his thoughts. So he told Jessita about it, and Jessita was so sad. Like, she did not want to relocate to any new city because it was so strange for her. She doesn't know anybody there, and for her, staying where she was better off. She was going to school, she had friends, she had people around she could go and visit. So she don't necessarily need to see her father the whole 24 hours, you know. She don't necessarily need to see her father every time. So going to a whole new city, she will only have her father to herself, and she doesn't want to have her father to herself. She doesn't like the man, she hates the man. So she cries so much, and she wasn't just sad alone. She was scared. Like, she was so scared because she already saw her father as a murderer. So she was scared to live with him without knowing anybody around. But of course, she did not have an option. She had to follow her father. So she followed him. And guess what? Jessita's fears were validated when they got there with the things that started happening. Her fears were really validated. But when she got there, she also drew a revenge plan for her father. She was going to pay back. She was going to avenge her mother's death. Anyways, the first thing that started happening to Jessita was that this man she called her father refused her from attending school, like stopped her from going to school. Not just that, he refused her from associating with anybody in the compound. Did not allow her to go out, did not allow her to associate anybody in the compound. Once he catch her talking to somebody else or even greeting somebody, "Good morning, ma," or "Good morning, sir," the kind of beating she will receive in the house. So she dared not. She dared not. So she was always alone to herself, crying and sleeping and waking up. Sometimes she would not even eat. But that wasn't the main problem. The main problem started after a few more months. That was a total nightmare for Jessita. This is something that nobody should experience. But at this point, let me pause the story. I'm very sure you want to know what went on with Jessita and the kind of revenge, the kind of payback she gave her father. You know, Jessita had this saying. She always said it to herself: revenge is a dish best served cold. So she was already planning it. In fact, she wrote it down. I'll give you the gist tomorrow. Just subscribe to this channel if you've not subscribed. Like this video, share it with your loved ones. You're about to learn the best way to pay back. Yes, and this brings us to the end of today's video. See you tomorrow. Bye.